Okay. We talked about God and mammon. Okay. So what it really is, what we're really talking about when we say God and mammon, you cannot worship God and mammon because you will love one and hate the other. Okay. Now, we have to present it in a realistic way, not just a religious way. But in the religious way, what it means is anything material versus anything spiritual or the spirit. Okay, you're not your body, you're not your name, you're that spirit that lives in here. Okay, and that's where we come from when we say spiritual. We're not talking about some mysterious spirit. We're not talking about angels and demons. We're not talking about that stuff. We're talking about you. We're talking about you as a spiritual being because that's what you are. And this is what's connected to consciousness. Okay, this is what's connected to everyone through awareness. Okay, and when you understand this principle, when you start to live by this principle, you get everything. You get everything you need. And the majority of what you want, depending on how you go about to manifest it. Okay? So what does this mean for the average person? Well, there's two ways to wealth. Okay, let's talk about wealth first, and then we'll talk about the ego. So wealth, good morning, Sarah. Good morning. I don't know if Jay is here. Oh yeah, she's here. Jay's here. Good morning, Jay. So I don't know if you know. I'm going to put it in both ways for you so you understand. This is applicable to everybody. Although it sounds like I'm pushing religion, I'm not pushing religion. Okay? So the body and the spirit, the separation thereof, God and mammon. What we're talking about is God made versus man made. Now, the societal hypnosis is real. Okay? You are being projected on like crazy from both the material and the spiritual. Okay? So the material would be the commercials, the commercialism, okay, the products, the car, the house, all of that. That's part of mammon only if, okay, here's the if you put your trust in that, if you put your faith in that. Okay? So there are false altars. Because you worship at that altar when you start putting your faith in that. In other words, if you put your faith in the financial system, if you put your faith in the banks, if you put your faith in the credit cards, in the position, in the now you've taken it away from here, okay? Because you're the one carrying God in here. God lives in here. Jesus Christ said the kingdom is within. But now you're putting your trust and your faith in something man-made, in the degree, in the position, in the job. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because your faith, the anchor that you have in trust, in faith, is in here. Okay, I know a lot of Christians, a lot of church people, okay, different denominations, they have no faith in themselves whatsoever. Because their faith is out here in the world. They're worried about their job. They're worried about the economy. They're worried about the conditions that they see. This is why it says, right, walk in faith, not by sight. You walk by faith and not by sight. What does that mean? Well, you just have to know that you know what's in here. And a lot of people don't know who they are. They don't know what they are. Because they're being told that there's something else. Okay? They're being projected onto. The hypnosis is real. It's societal hypnosis. So if you want to, let's say, live the life of your dreams, or let's say accomplish what you want to accomplish, or manifest. Okay, manifest is all subconscious. It's a subconscious process. Okay, but there's two ways to wealth. Okay, the first way is you can go the mammon way, the material way. Save all your money, work hard, live, I don't know, poorly. Eat the cheapest food, wear the cheapest clothes, drive the cheapest car, do whatever, like that. Or you belong to abundance. Because that side is scarcity, okay? The material side is scarcity. It's scarcity when you believe in it, when you put your faith in it, it's scarcity. And that's why you put all the money in the bank, like a crab, grabbing everything, put it in your hole, okay? You do that, okay? You live like this. When you live like this, you live in fear. When you live like this, you live in lack. There's not enough. I need to grab what's mine. I need to get what's mine because there's not enough. Now, what's the other way? Well, the other way is you acknowledge what's in here. Jesus Christ said the kingdom is within. A lot of people go to church and go, oh, yeah, praise God, praise the Lord, praise, right? But they don't trust. Why? Well, they worry. That's why you see a lot of poor religious people. Okay. They're living in lack and they get stuck in lack. Okay, because religion in itself is separation. So you really need to understand this. You really need to get it. You really need to practice it. If you're going to partake in religion, because religion is separation. It's saying this is separate from God. God is out there, up there. I actually had a religious lady, tell me that Jesus was going to come to the clouds and save her. Nobody's going to save you. Nobody's coming to save you. Because you save yourself in here, in the kingdom. This is what Jesus was teaching you. But if you don't understand the esoteric knowledge behind this, if you just understand the story, okay, in the Bible, the story, then you don't get it. And the story gets pounded into you, and pounded into you, and pounded into you. And then what? It's part of these systems of things. The religious industrial complex is real. So is the medical industrial complex. So is the political industrial complex. This is why Jesus said, well, I will be with you until the end of these systems of things. That means forever. Why? Well, because these systems aren't going anywhere. They just get refined. They just get refined. So what does the ego have to do with this? Well, the material, okay? The mammon, God and mammon. God and mammon, okay? Anything physical in the physical world that you place your trust in becomes mammon. It's not just about money. Thank you, Miss Sunshine. Good morning. Nice to see you. Anything physical becomes mammon when you put your trust in it, when you start to believe in it, when you start to worship it. What is worship? When you put your trust and your faith in something, you are worshiping something. When you start to believe that, well, it's because of the degree, it's because of the position that brings the money that's provided for my life. If that's what you believe, okay. But go deeper than that. And when you go deeper and then deeper and then deeper, you get to hear, you get to God. You get to your Creator. Okay? So the separation happens when you believe out there, up there, out there. There is no out there, out there. There is no up there, up there. God is in here. God is in you. But you need to acknowledge it. You need to embrace it. You need to trust it. And a lot of people, thank you, Matthew. And a lot of people don't trust. Nice to see you, Matthew. Good morning. A lot of people don't trust it. I'm here to tell you that when you start to trust it, when you live by it, and you have to be all in, you can't say, well, yeah, I believe in God. Oh, hallelujah on Sunday, right? And then on Monday, you get scared because you get a bill and you don't know how you're going to pay the bill. But when you live by it, when you put your faith in it, in God, in here, in the kingdom, Jesus Christ said the kingdom is within. Then what happens? Well, then if you want something, write it down. It will show up. If you want something, speak it. Ask. Ask, believe, receive, and it shows up. Is it magic? No, it's subconscious. But in the Bible, when it says God knows your heart, it's talking about your subconscious. That's the only thing God knows. Why is that? Because it's where your beliefs are. It's the culmination of all of your senses. It's your subconscious. You receive as you believe. Now, if you believe in fear, if you believe out of a fear-based ideology or a fear-based anything, fear-based thoughts, insecurity, when you're not sure of yourself, low self-esteem, whatever, because we go through experiences. We go through experiences that make us feel less than. It's just life. There's no conspiracy out there to push you down, push you down, push you down. Although things are designed for commerce. And when things are designed for commerce, they're not designed to last forever. Okay? They're not designed for your best interest. They're designed for the manufacturer's best interest. So don't get it twisted. God lives in here. God lives in you. But when you live by that, I live by that. I swear by that. Jay was asking me a question this morning. She made a comment to me this morning in the chat, in our chat. And I said, God, it doesn't matter to me. God is real. And when I say that to people, they think I'm crazy, right? Because they go, no, you need to figure this out. You need to work this. And I'm like, no, God is real. It's okay. And it turns out. And then they go, whoa. See? Okay. Now, why is it important for the ego to be subdued? Okay. So you don't kill your ego. You don't get rid of your ego. You don't destroy your ego. You subdue it. You control it. You're the boss over your ego. The ego lives in the left brain. We always talk about right brain, left brain. Why? Because Jesus sits at the right hand of the Father. Esoterically, it signifies the right hemisphere of your brain. The journey of Moses is the migration from the left brain to the right brain. When you really understand what the Bible's talking about, when you really understand more than the story, when you understand that the Bible is actually talking about in here, where God lives, when you understand that the Jews in the Bible represent awakened consciousness, the people that know, the people that are awake, the people that see, the people that hear, and that the Gentiles are the people that are asleep, the people that cannot hear, they cannot see. They're just being directed by these systems of things in the world, and they come and they pass through and they go. They're born, they live, they die. And it's the same program over and over. They're programmed from young, like we all are, right? Kindergarten, elementary school, your first 12-step program is 1 through 12. That's your first 12-step program. 12, interesting number. 12 apostles, 12 people on a jury, 12 months in a year, 12 cranial nerves, 12. But when you understand these things, you go, oh, okay. You start to see. And when you see, you start to know. Knowing is more important than believing. Whether you believe in God or you don't believe in God, either way, you're a believer. But the ego always thinks it knows best, so the ego always tries to control. Okay, the ego is a part of your free will. So you get intuitive thought from God, right? Oh, I should do this. And then what happens? Oh, and then the ego says, no, 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 that's okay. So you get that urge to turn right over here, and the ego says, no, just go. And you go. And you get stuck in the traffic jam, and then what do? You go, oh, I knew I should have turned back there, right? Because you did know. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you, thank you. Because you did know. Now what? Well, you're stuck in the traffic jam. You know you created an error. And maybe the next time you trust intuitive thought, maybe the next time you trust God. God is intuitive thought. Divine guidance, you can call it God, divine guidance, Jesus Christ, Allah, whatever you want to call it. Okay. The ego is not your true self. Okay. The ego is a manufactured self. This is why you need to put it on the side. Okay. You don't need to kill it. You don't need to get rid of it. It's a personality that you inherited. Okay. It's the mask that is shaped by fear, the left hemisphere of the brain. Fear. No characteristics of the right hemisphere. The right hemisphere is creativity. The right hemisphere is intuition. It's where God lives. Jesus sits at the right hand of the Father. When the false identity collapses, or is subdued, or is minimized, then the real self can awaken. But until then, you're asleep. You're sleeping in this societal hypnosis. Why is that? Well, you're taught what to think. You're taught how to think. It's being projected onto you. Oh, it's the latest game. Oh, I'm obsessed with this game. It's so cool. Okay. Oh, it's the football team. Oh, I belong to this team here. This is my team. And then I have a whole bunch of guys online, and we all belong to the same team, and we have this family, this team family. And we're gonna battle all the other teams and like that. Okay? Because the characteristics of the ego is I am my name, I am my story. Right? I worked with this guy. He was a comedian, and he was actually telling me openly in the studio, like he was talking about how he wanted to be remembered. He's not even old, but he was telling me about how he wanted to be, and I was amused. I was amused. I was sitting there looking at him, you know. In my head, I was going, "Oh, brother." On the outside, I was going, "Oh, okay." See? Because I was listening to his ego speak. That wasn't his true self. But after a while, with this egoistic personality, you start to get lost. And you start to get lost because it covers your true personality, your true self. The ego thinks, I am my status. I am separate. The left brain is all about separation. Religion is separation. God is up there, God is out there. No, God is in here. Jesus told you that. Gautama Buddha told you that. Krishna told you that. They all told you that. They said it in different ways, but they all said it. So when this ego is subdued in you, what happens? You're not the voice in your head anymore. You're the one hearing it. Okay? And what happens? Well, things start to quiet down in here. You receive clarity. Why is that? Because the ego isn't talking. Overthinking, ego. So, when you hear things like, well, I'm going to pick up my cross and follow Jesus, okay? It's not about punishment. It's not about bearing ridiculous amounts of burden. It's not about that. It's a symbol of intersection, the cross. The cross. Okay, the cross. It's an intersection. The vertical line means spirit. The horizontal line is the material world. Now again, we're back to body and spirit. Okay? The vertical line is spirit. The horizontal line is the material world. Personality, ego, mammon. Okay, God and mammon. So when you hear in Holy Writing in the Bible, actually it's in the Bible, when you hear carry the cross, pick up your cross and follow me, right? Carry the cross. It's the willingness to bear the tension between the divine self and the material world, the human self, until the human self dissolves into the divine. How does that work with manifestation? Well, as you develop the right hemisphere of your brain, as you exercise that more and more, as you subdue the ego on the left, guess what happens? Goodness comes. That's your manifestation through your subconscious. It's not magic. And it's not difficult. Oh my God, it's not difficult. It's the simplest thing. But it requires surrender. Okay, surrender. When you surrender the ego, in the beginning, it's awkward. It's awkward because, wait a minute, this doesn't feel like the same thing. And sometimes it's spooky. It's like, wait a minute, I'm letting go. I'm surrendering. Like, I don't know what's going to happen, right? And for a little while, you have to kind of chill. You have to kind of wait. You have to kind of observe, become the observer, like I always tell you, okay? And then you start to see it and you go, whoa, there's a connection here. But you know what happens? The average person, okay, and this happens with me sometimes, because you get pulled back into the material world. Not just by material things. It's not about the clothes. It's not about the car. It's not about the house. It's not about that. It's about the construction of this physical matrix we live in. It's about the systems and what they say. It's about the calendar. It's about the clock. It's about the job. These things we have to do. But when you start to engage in these things, and Sarah knows because she's my client. Good morning, Manuel. Sarah knows on our chat over here. When you start to engage in these things, it becomes your reality. Why? Because you're so intelligent as a human being. It becomes part of your reality. And then it's all about the clock, all about the calendar, all about the job, all about the schedule, all about the meetings, all about this, all about that, all about that. And then what happens on the other end? Well, a few casualties. Because there's too much focus over here, and now the family gets sacrificed. Now the free time gets sacrificed. Now the gym gets sacrificed. Now the health gets sacrificed. And so you see these people, right? These industrious, ambitious people, right? Climbing that imaginary ladder. Okay, I was one of them. I was one of them. But when too much focus is placed upon it, now it becomes mammon, because now the trust is there. Because you can't partake in something and not trust it. If you go all in with your career, you are trusting in your career. You are worshiping the career. You have engaged energetically with the career. And then the career becomes your reality. It becomes your focus. I'm not saying careers are wrong. I'm saying you have to open your eyes so you can see, so you can tell the difference, so that you don't get deceived. Okay, the deception is in the physical world. Why? Because you're a spirit. You're a spirit in here. God lives in here and in you. The word namaste means the divinity in me acknowledges the divinity in you. So you cannot play both sides. You cannot share both realities. This is why it says you will love one and hate the other. It's not necessarily that you will hate the other, but you will disregard the other for the other one. Now, I coach executives, and my executives always have the same reaction. The first reaction is resentment. They get upset. They look at their career and they go, you know what? This really doesn't mean anything anymore. I'm just another cog in the wheel. I'm just another component in the corporation. Thank you, Matthew. Yeah, good job. Take notes. You will learn a lot. Right? So now you're putting your faith in the position, right? And you look back and you go, wow, I've had a great career. You know, my executives that I teach are tops in their field. They're way up there. I mean, way up there. Because they can afford to see me. And the first thing is like, they get upset, they get let down, they get depressed. Not clinically depressed. I'm just saying they feel bad, right? And there's a little bit of shame that comes with that. There's a little bit of guilt that comes with that. Because then they realize, then they see the truth, right? And when the truth sets you free, it will embarrass you a little bit. Because you'll be like, oh yeah, I was guilty of that. It'll embarrass you a little bit. It'll make you feel guilty a little bit. Because then you will know that your pursuit of this physical thing in the physical world that took you away from the spiritual for so long, that kept you preoccupied with these shiny objects, called a career, called money, called Gucci, called Ferragamo, okay? Took you away from these things, okay? What are these things? Well, people things, spirit things, spiritual things. The relationship. How many relationships gets ruined in the pursuit of this physical thing in the physical world? How many children get neglected? Oh, daddy can't be there. Daddy has to work. Daddy has to do this. Daddy has to be at the meeting. Daddy has to be at the... Daddy's on the business trip. But these are just a few examples. So what's the solution? The solution is balance. Okay, but the solution is understanding what it is. People don't know what it is. Many people don't know what it is. Many are called, few are chosen. A lot of people listen to these things. They listen to me, they listen to other people, they listen to other spiritual leaders, they listen to yogis, they listen to mystics. But then they go back into the physical world. They go back into the calendar. They go back into. And then this knowledge becomes secondary. Because they have to work. They have to have a job. They have to, right? Collectibles or sentimental possession. Yeah, if you look at it that way, Matthew. It does have an emotional attachment, is what you're saying. Yeah, I get it. But the emotional attachment, I have to add this, Matthew. The emotional attachment to things is not because it's a thing. It's because what you did to get that thing, how hard you worked to get that thing, right? So when I manifested my first new car, and all of this is about manifestation, okay? Because people are teaching manifestation in a really whacked out way. Like, oh, you wave the magic wand and poof, car appears in the driveway. That's not how it happens. It happens through your subconscious. But the way that attachment happens, Matthew, is you go to college, you go to the classes, you do the work for years, right? Now you get the position. Why? Because you have the degree. Now you get the position. Now you're in the position. Now you make the money. Then you buy the house. Then you end up worshiping the house, the position, the money. Why? Well, that's what it took to get the house. Go deeper than that. Go back to the roots of it. Go back to the origin of it. Where did it originate? It originated with God in here, within the kingdom. With God, all things are possible. What did Jesus Christ say? He said, seek first the kingdom, and all else will be added unto you. But don't forget the kingdom. Don't forget how this thing happened. Don't forget that it happened from in here. And if someone else can, you can. You're just as capable as the next human being. You know, sometimes when you look at how these people made their fortunes, when you look at how these people created their inventions, when you look at how these people did what they did, when you really find out how, when you hear the story, it sounds amazing, right? Oh, well, he did this, he did it. Oh my God, how could he do that at 35 years old? How could he do that at 40 years old? When my career hit at 40, it went boom, 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 like that. The first week was amazing. And it kept going like that for months and months and months. The momentum was huge. I saw it on the third day. Many people that I was around, when it happened for them, because I saw it happen for many people. When it happened for them, they were so caught up in the physical world, in the elements of the systems of things, that they couldn't see it happening in real time. They just went on the ride. And pretty soon, it was like, oh, okay, we're doing this. Okay, this is real. But when you can be the observer, okay, and observe from in here, pull yourself out of the box and look back into the box, now you can see. And then the veil is lifted. When the veil is lifted, you will see the truth, and the truth will set you free. But before that, it's the societal hypnosis, and that's what's preventing the sight. Okay? So when you subdue the ego, you begin to awake. When you subdue the ego, you begin to see. When you are into your ego, you're carrying your conditions, you're carrying your fears. Okay? You're thriving on your fears. Thank you, Matthew. Why? Because the left brain, okay, the mammon, the physical systems of things thrive on fear. They operate on fear. So if you're in a religion that's preaching fear or from fear or with fear, you're in the wrong place. God is love. There's love in here. You were born in love energy. That's why there were no angry babies. The burden of awakening is the same. It's carrying your conditioning, but realizing that you're carrying it, not just suffering with it. Not to glorify suffering, okay, but to transcend it. With knowledge comes responsibility. This is why you can't switch back and forth. You cannot say, oh, I believe in God, and then, okay, God is in here, the kingdom is within, but, oh, I'm going to trust the system for these things. Then I'm going to trust God for these things. No, you don't need to do that. Just put all your trust in here. That's how I accomplished everything. I just said, well, whatever, I don't care. And guess what? It all fell into place. Why? Because it's the separation of God and mammon. Because when you put your trust in the system, when you put your faith in the system, in the calendar, in the clock, guess what happens? You get sucked into that reality, and that becomes your God. I know so many people that don't have any faith in themselves. Why? Because when you put your faith in here, out here, in this physical thing, in the physical world, you strip yourself of that power. Now you're powerless. Why? Because you're drawn like a moth to a light bulb into the physical things that are in front of you, because your eyes look away from the kingdom. You can't see in here when you're looking out here. You're being told what to think. You're being told how to think. You're not just being advised, oh, you should think like that. No, they're saying this is it. This is this. This is that. This is that. And pretty soon you start identifying with these exterior substances or systems or things or places or titles or positions. I am that. I am the doctor. I am the gardener. I am. It's the difference between the internal and the external, the spiritual and the physical. The kingdom is inside. And the universal law of correspondence says whatever is inside is reflected outside. So the kingdom is inside. It originates on the inside. And it starts to appear out here. So if at first you seek the kingdom, now you're doing it right, because it will appear out here for you. You know those people that have messy desks, right? Or messy cars, they give you a ride, their stuff is all over the car, okay? They're messy in here, okay? They're driving a beat up car, okay? That's a reflection of how they think in here, how they are in here. Ralph Waldo Emerson said poverty consists of feeling poor. If you feel poor, you will become poor. If you wear poverty as a badge of honor, you will perpetuate it into your subconscious. And your subconscious goes wash, rinse, repeat, and then what happens? Then you stay poor because you perpetuate it. Because this is who you are. You identify with that. I know these people who, where poverty is a badge of honor. Oh, I come from the housing. I come from the projects. I come from the hood. I come from the poor place, right? And then they make enough money to get into the better place or the rich place or whatever, better. But in a little while, that rich place begins to resemble the poor place, right? It's not clean. Things end up in disrepair. Things start to mirror their inside out here in their immediate vicinity. Because they didn't change this one. Because in here they still live in the housing. Because in here they still live in poverty. because in here they have perpetuated poverty as a glorified thing, as an honorable thing. Now, how do you fix it? Affirmations, meditation, vocalization, visualization. In here. As a man thinketh, so is he. How does that happen? Is it magic? No, it's not magic. Whatever you believe in your subconscious looks for avenues to create it, to justify it, to confirm it, to make it happen. So people that say, well, his demons got a hold of him. He ended up on the street again. He ended up with nothing. He was doing well. He was making a lot of money. All of a sudden, he had nothing. It's not demons. It's your subconscious. The subconscious will pull you back to the previous paradigm. It'll pull you back to the previous program. Because you have to provide maintenance. Let me show you what maintenance looks like. Okay, this is maintenance. This is subconscious maintenance. This is what I'm working on right now. This is one that's done. These are affirmations. This is not journaling. Okay, tons of affirmations every day. If you don't control your mind will control you. If you don't take charge over your mind will take charge over you. If you can't see the mental conditioning that you've been subjected to, the societal hypnosis that you've been subjected to, you haven't broken out of it. But it seems like everything's normal, right? Well, everybody has ups and downs. Well, everybody goes through this. Well, everybody goes through that. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised at the people that come to me. From little kids, 7, 8, 9 years old, to teenagers, 13, 14, a lot of 13-year-olds, because parents understand that at 13, they're going to start to buck the system, right? The family system, the home system, with their independence, right? 13, that's the age, teenager, okay? So they come to me right before that. Aloha to Riverside. Good morning, Sha. Or Cha. Whichever. So this is where you want to wake them up. At 13. The first step is the vocalization. It pulls you out. It pulls you into the moment. Energy, frequency, vibration, and we add velocity to it. Strong, straight tones. It separates you from the conditioning. And then you can see it. Children see through everything. When I pull a child out of their hypnosis, right, they haven't been in hypnosis very long, because your initial paradigm is up to 7 years old. By the time I get them, they've only been conditioned for a few years. When I get adults, they've been conditioned for 15, 20 years, 25 years, 30 years, and I pulled him out. Sarah was just saying the other day, at 50, her eyes are wide awake now. She's my client. At 50, her eyes are wide awake. It doesn't matter when. It just matters that you see. Because you can't see when you're conditioned. A lot of people right now listening to me have no idea what I'm talking about. It's the commercials, it's the news, it's the scrolling. It's all of these things. It's not just one thing. It's not just religion, it's not just politics, it's not just government. It's these systems of things that Jesus was talking about. He said, I will be with you until the end of the world. When you take that and you translate it into the original Aramaic, it said, I will be with you until the end of these systems of things. And now we have all of these so-called religious, well, they're kind of pseudo-religious, pseudo-government, pseudo this, pseudo that. But the underlying principle with all of these pseudo entities is commerce. It makes a lot of money. Okay? And like I said, there's nothing wrong with money until you believe in it, until you trust in it, until you trust in that more than you trust in this, in God. God lives in here. The kingdom is within. So if your focus is out here first, the degree, the position, the house, the car, if you're out there like that, in your belief like that, I'm here to tell you that it's easier than that. Because people are out there going, the struggle is real, the struggle is real. And now they're perpetuating the struggle, right? And they're working hard out here. You don't have to work hard. You can work long. I work long. I never work hard. I can't begin to describe what this freedom feels like to have your eyes open. Oh, Sarah, that's so cool. Truth you're sharing with us, many thanks. Yeah, thank you, Matthew. Thank you. Sarah is my client right here in the UK. But you don't know the real truth. Okay? I'm not talking about the truth about politics. I'm not talking about the truth about conspiracy theories. I'm not talking about that truth. I'm talking about what happens when you get rid of all the conditioning, when you break out of the conditioning. It takes a few sessions. And it's done with your voice. Thank you, Shao. But it's the removal of your false self. It's subduing the ego. Because the ego thinks it knows, right? You know. And the most difficult people to break free are the educated ones. The educated people. Okay, because first you have to go through a few years of college. You have to do the basics. Okay, the core subjects, as it were. Then you go into graduate school. Then you go into your, right, whatever program. And those people have the hardest time. But those are the people I teach. And when I pull them out of their hypnosis, they go, oh my God, if I can get them when they're young, then they have more awareness the rest of their lives. But I usually get them around 40. Because around 40, people start going, well, maybe I should work on myself more around that age. But I usually get them around that age. When I pull them out, the first response is anger. They get upset. They get depressed, not clinically depressed, just feeling down. They feel down. Why is that? Well, because they see the system for what it is. And they see that their relevance in the system, their importance in the system is minimal. They can be replaced like that. So what are they really doing? Well, they're occupying space and they're taking orders and they're fulfilling requests, commands, orders, whatever, all of that, procedures. But this is the way that business functions. This is the way that commerce works. But the big problem, the big question becomes, what about me? What about me in here? Everybody, this one attorney that I had, tops in her field. This lady's incredible. Brilliant, brilliant woman. And she's like, what about me? Everybody refers to me as the attorney. I'm looked at as the attorney. Everybody sees me as the attorney. Nobody sees me. Nobody sees me. She doesn't think like that anymore. She doesn't feel like that anymore. She doesn't have that question anymore. She knows exactly who she is now. Because at first you have those WTF moments. Then you start to cross the bridge. Okay? And you cross the bridge and you get to over here. This is the empowerment place, the place of strength. Why? Because now you can look back and you can manage this artificial reality that you had no idea you were just going through day by 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 day. Some people do this day after day after day, so they go day to day to day to day to dead. Because one day they run out of life, or they retire, and then they have a few years, and then they go on a few cruises, and then it's time to leave. It's time to leave the realm. So the surrendering of the ego is important, because the ego clings to these systems of things. Because the system invokes fear. The ego embraces fear. The ego thrives on fear. It runs on fear. That same attorney that I just mentioned told me my whole career was based on fear. I was running because I didn't want to be poor. So because she did so fear was her motivation. I'm here to tell you that high performance anxiety looks just like motivation. And these executives are working out of fear. And it's not just them. You better be fearful if you want to stay there, if you want to climb that ladder, if you want to get ahead in that system. So the whole thing runs out of fear. The whole thing is motivated by fear. What's the alternative? What's the other side? Instead of fear, there's creativity, there's security, there's comfort, there's flow state. You don't have to work by fear, through fear, with fear. Okay? If you bring forth what is within you, the kingdom, in here, okay? What is in you will save you. This is what Jesus was talking about when he said the kingdom is within. If you don't bring out what is within you will destroy you. You can have a kitchen knife and you can use it to cut your bacon, or you can use that kitchen knife to hurt yourself. Depends on how you use it. If you don't bring out your inner gifts, this is why we have so much anxiety. This is why we have so many people that don't know who they are. They don't know what to do. They can't decide which way to go. It's not because anything is really wrong with them. It's because they live in these systems of things. And they're not bringing what is inside out. It's suppressed. When you suppress a human being, look what happens. Look what happened in Iran. What's happening in Iran right now? Those people have been suppressed 47 years of suppression. So when you suppress things, it acts out in different ways, but it acts out in negative ways. People get sick, right? I'm talking about emotionally, mentally sick, mental problems, emotional problems. Oh, I have to go to therapy. Oh yeah. Oh, everybody in my family's in therapy. And then you find out, well, everybody in their family is suppressed. Oh, it's a suppression. The whole family is suppressed? Yeah. It's the way they run the house. It's the way they live. So if you show me 5 of your closest friends, I will tell you who you are. Why? Because we gravitate to that. If it's happening to one of us, it begins to happen to all of us in the same house. Why is that? We're together. We live together. Human beings are like chameleons. We start to empathize, sympathize, identify. The identification is the thing that starts to change these properties in people. Thank you, Matthew. Then you begin to identify with these things. Then you begin to identify with what's wrong with you instead of what's right with you. Your inner gifts become secondary. Why? You're focused on the physical. You're focused on this physical entity. You're focused on the physical world, on the physical properties, on the physical clock, on the physical calendar. This is my reality here. I manage this. I'm the CEO of this. I'm the officer of this. I'm the financial officer of this. I'm the attorney of this. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you very much. You can't see this until you get pulled out of it. I'm sorry. But little kids see this. When I wake little kids up, this is why both of my companies that do this, we do this with 2 companies. They all have 5-star ratings, nothing but 5-star ratings, because it changes lives and it just wakes people up. Now, like I said, the system or systems of things are not inherently evil. It depends on how you perceive it. It depends on how you use it. It depends on how you apply it. And if you have the balance, or let's say this another way, if you are aware, if you raise your awareness, raise your vibration, because if you're being kept in fear, if you're being kept in guilt and shame and worry, it's being projected like this. Primarily, you manifest who you are, and everything that's yours comes to you. Esther Hicks has a different way of explaining it. She says, she calls it the vortex. Everything that's yours is in your vortex, but it's not coming to you. Why? Doubt and fear. How do you make it come to you? Surrender. Become open. When people come to me, they're like this. They're like this. And then I get them relaxed like this. I'm talking about through their voice. And then like this. And then like this. And then they open. And then they open. Now, the same way you tune an instrument. Same, through their voice. You tune a human being just like you tune an instrument. It's not about singing. It's about vibration. It's about hormones being activated. You can go to the website and look at the research. It's scientific research, white papers, all of it. It's all documented on the website. It's hereforyoulifecoaching.com. But you cannot look at something as a physical thing and remedy the physical thing. It has to be mental, spiritual, and physical, because they all belong to each other, because we're humans, because the kingdom is within. So if you're just addressing this on the physical level, if you just see this as a physical body, you look in the mirror, you go, okay, well, that's just, I'm just human and I'm gonna die and that's it, and we'll see what happens. Okay, then you've identified with the physical. But if you see the physical and you identify with the spiritual, and you identify with the spiritual first, with the kingdom first, seek the kingdom first and all else will be added unto you, now you can enjoy everything else. Now the money is not mammon. The money is not evil. The house is not evil. The possessions are not evil. Because when you look at the possessions, They are just things. And then you can use things and love people. Because you are love in here. Sure, there's negative emotions. They come and go. They come and go for a reason. Fear comes to warn us or to alarm us that something is wrong. So humans have negativity bias, but they have negativity bias for evolutionary purposes. Okay? Mind, body, spirit, same thing. Mental, spiritual, physical, same thing. Yep. But you have to start with the spirit. You have to start in the kingdom. If you start with the physical, you're being distracted. Because your eyes look away from the kingdom and you're looking out here in the physical world. When it says seek and ye shall find, it's talking about seeking within the kingdom. Close your distractors. These are distractors. Close your distractors. Now seek. Ask. Ask. Believe. And you shall receive. Guarantee. Okay. We're here every day. The things then serve you. The things then serve you, not for you to serve. Yeah, exactly. There you go, Sarah. Perfectly said. Perfectly said. Okay, so I'm getting scoldings over here. I need to go. I was supposed to go 6 minutes ago, but I need you to hear these things. I need you to wake up so that you understand, so that you stand under these principles, so that you seek first the kingdom, so that everything else can come. Okay, we'll see you guys tomorrow. There's no sales pitch, although we are going to talk to you guys about the special for you guys.